So I will start recording now. So this is our second conversation with Attila. We have a great conversation. The first one talking about his life with Steve Hackett and playing with Steve Hackett and his new record that is coming up, live record actually, that is coming up very, very soon in April, on April 28th. And then that was a show that was recorded in 2022. So let's go back, Attila, to the formation of Djabe. What was the original idea when created the band together with Andras Sipos, right, in the 90s?
Yeah, I had a high school band called Novus Jam.
Yeah.
And we recorded 2 albums. First album, 1994, Novus Jam Profiles. And we invited Andras Sipos for these recordings as a guest.
Yeah.
But it worked very well. So he joined the band, and we also released another album, a live album, 1995. It was Novus Jam Live.
Yeah.
And I became very, very close to Shippy.
Yeah.
And the Novus Jam was very much influenced by the flute player, Judith. And he always improvised, and sometimes we felt it's too much improvisation. We need to play some more stuff written. And me and András and another former Novus Jam member, Tibor Karvai, started to record a new album. We also invited Judith, and all the guys played before in Novus Jam, and we also invited professional jazz musician to play on we recorded. Our concept was give a very good background and frame for improvisers, and we was looking for musicians could build kind of a composition on this basic melodies, grooves we laid down together with Shippy and the TB. So it worked very well. And we decided to play the first album, this album, which we named it Djabe. It came from Shippy, who played on African instruments.
Yeah.
And it means freedom in Ashanti language. And I liked very much the name because our concept was really free, with no restrictions, no specific styles. We played what we felt and what we liked. So it was kind of a concept, the freedom in music. And when the album came out, we got very good reviews on it. It was a little bit attractive at the Hungarian music scene. A few guys from nowhere coming out and prepare a quite good album. And I decided to play it live, and because it was not a Novus Jam, I decided to found a band with András, a new band. And I asked all the main musicians played on the album as guests, but at the end the bass player Tamás and the saxophone player Ferenc Muk joined. So we were a quartet. Guitar, bass guitar, percussion, and saxophone. And we recorded 3 albums, 2 more albums, and 1 live in that lineup.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. And your music in many ways, and it's a feeling of, like you say, Djabe's music is a feeling of freedom, like no strict rules, and anything can happen at the same time. A bunch of great musicians playing together. Some part are improvised, but the rest is very, very structured. But it's a feeling of freedom in all the groove and all the tunes. So
yeah, and I think there was some similarity with Steve, because if you listen to his own albums like Voyage of the Acolyte or Please Don't Touch, sometimes after a classical scene, some rocky and some different things coming, and unexpected changes in the music. So I think this is a little bit a common soul in making music.
Yep, absolutely. All of you, the band, are very virtuous musicians, and at the same time, you're given a lot of great importance to the melody in the composition. How you manage? I mean, you have a lot of people with different creative ideas, and all of you are very good in what they do. How you manage to capture individual techniques in the creative result? Because it's like a football match, right? A soccer match here we call United States. They are individual players, but it's hard to put them all together to be synchronized and having a particular meaning, a particular goal. It's not that easy to put different people together that they're all very, very good on their own rights as musicians, but how to do something cohesive, right? How you manage to do that?
Yeah, it's a very good and the important question. As I see the Djabe music retrospective, 30 years, or almost 30 years, it was a kind of an evolution, but the core of the Djabe is always the same.
Yes.
So when sometimes they said, we not agree that you are playing jazz word fusion or on anything. You have a style called Djabe. You have your own style.
Correct.
So in the beginning, András and me wrote the music, sometimes improvised, but sometimes I wrote on the guitar the music. And the other players come and completed it. Later on, when Tamás, the third album, he was also the sound engineer in our studio, and he was the engineer of the group. He started to make some arrangements. He was a jazz educated guy, but he was really, really open for any style. And he started to make some arrangements which closer to the existing musical rules. And then he started to write also compositions, or sometimes we wrote together. I wrote the first part, or I wrote the harmonies, he wrote the melody. So we became a partner in writing, but he also made a lot of composition on his own. And he learned very, very fast, the best if he write everything which is suitable for the players. So when he writes me a guitar part, he knows what I like, what my borders, what can I play. So he really knows the whole soundscape of the band. So one point is using the original Djabe idea to write music which really comes from the heart, from moods, from feelings. That's my way. And Tamás is a little bit more educated and more arranged. And it is always a kind of a mixture. And for this platform, if we call the album platform, we always take in new elements, like a musician from America. It was John Nugent, a jazz player, or Malik Mansurov from Azerbaijan, ancient tar player, and also Steve. So when we started to record with Steve as well, we started to write a little bit more progressive stuff. So I can say we have some numbers really progressive music with a little bit jazzy play in them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Your band is a fusion. If we look into the history of all the albums that you have put together, it's a mixture of different elements, right? The jazz, the fusion, the more progressive rock, and so on and so forth. You guys, when you're not touring, you guys get together to practice or rehearse. What's the creative process when putting a new album, right?
All the musicians in the band are professionals. It means they are working with other projects, some band, some musical projects. We unfortunately we don't have so much gig like Steve has. So we are working mainly on the jazz scene. So that's a kind of, it's a limited possibility for us.
Yeah.
And we don't practice daily basis or weekly or monthly. So we are working on a project basis. It means when we have an album recordings.
Yeah.
For example, last year we recorded in Holland direct to disc. So you know what I mean. It's we went in a studio where there was a real high class analog gear.
Yeah.
And everything recorded through the lathe directly. And we had to make a rehearsal time because we had to play a whole album side without interruption. Or no, it was not possibility to make any changes later.
Yeah. Wow.
So we organized a few rehearsals and then traveled and made the album. So it took a few weeks process, but we not the rehearsal we didn't rehearse all the day. We rehearsed 2 days, some day off, and then took the rehearsals again. So we could work on that basis, and now we are preparing ourselves for the next tour with Steve. We will start the rehearsals in beginning of May, and during the May, and we will continue in June. Steam came over 13th of June, and we also have rehearsals together. Now we decided to refresh the set, so we will play. We never played before, like Carpet Crawlers, Camino Royale, and things like that.
Is the recording with Steve in June? They are going to be recorded as well. Is a possibility of creating like a live CD or another Blu-ray, or you know?
We always record the shows.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
So, we will record all the shows multi-track.
Yeah,
and,
multi-track. Yeah.
Maybe two concert video as well.
Yeah. Wow.
We don't have a certain plan. We don't know what will happen, but as we really refresh the set, I think at least 50% of the set will new, or 60.
Will be new. Yeah.
It's worth to record it because new things will come. So no plans this moment, but I'm sure who are not able to come over will hear something about from the tour as well.
Yeah. And then is Steve, Steve will have the freedom to do some Genesis stuff, have his solo stuff as well, or this is a set? You guys haven't put the set together, right? So it's going to be 60% new, and the other 40% revisiting the
yes.
hits, so to speak, right? So
we will play everything we already played characteristically. We will play some Djabe. We will play some Djabe and Steve Hackett, like the Sardinian stuff, but we recorded together. It's own of this lineup, and we will play some from Steve repertoire and some Genesis as well. So we think it works very well, because hardcore Djabe fans who like our jazzy side or the special Djabe composition can get these compositions with addition of Steve unique sound. We play Steve stuffs a little bit different, like he plays with his own band, sometimes different arrangement. And we also play some Genesis melodies, really, really powerful for the fans, and we also enjoy. So it's a question of the balance. So we don't play that much. He plays with his own band, the Genesis stuff, or what we play with Genetics. We not like a cover band or something, but I think we play a good portion from that field for the fans.
Yeah, man, it's amazing. I was, your country, Hungary, progressive music scene is very rich and has produced many big names like Solaris, After Crying, Is, Omega, and many, many more. So,
I'm fortunate to know them personally.
You do? Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of very good bands. I mean, not many people know them. There's, of course, obviously some bands are very popular, other ones that are not made, but there's a lot of great music coming from your country. Not now, but in the past, right? So it's a many, many great bands. And it's unbelievable that, some countries are able to be so creative and have great music production, and between the jazz world, the progressive and the classical, right? So
I think Hungary is traditionally strong in music. If you start like Liszt, Bartók, Kodály, the classical names, and also very, very strong and famous about the gypsy music, and also good bands from the progressive area, rock bands like you mentioned, After Crying, Solaris, but I can mention East, and Panterei, Color, which is good, very, very, very good bands, and some of them from my hometown, Debrecen, as well. So Debrecen, but it was the Hungarian saying that Debrecen is a Hungarian Liverpool.
All right, that's great.
In England.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a very good reference. Yeah, amazing. Yeah, amazing that's the case. What's your take on the importance of improvisation, both live and the studio, as a base for ideas when composing? It's when you put a new set list together, right? And you say we want to play, this 10th track, then encore another 5 or whatever. It's all the players have like a room for freedom to for improvisation during the live gig as well, or it's very, very. I have never seen you guys live, or it's very, very structured.
When we rehearse a composition, sometimes first let's start with the recordings. On the recordings, you can hear, for example, a Djabe tune start with a melody, and then there is a section B, and then a trumpet solo, then a section E again, and then a keyboard solo. So we have a structure. Sometimes we say the improvised part is 16 bar, and we said let's keep the 16 bar because we lose time. Sometimes we say this is very good, let's make it open. Just give a sign when you finish the solo. So we sometimes that's if we see one composition, and when we put the set together, we see the keys. For example, we try to combine, not play everything in E or G or D. So we try to combine it. It's more comfortable for the ear, not everything every time in the same key. And with Steve, sometimes, or not just Steve, other occasions, we push out this frame. Sometimes somebody start to a solo not agreed, not discussed in advance. The level of the performance is getting higher and higher, and one of the players, sometimes I feel I have to make some solo here on guitar, and I'm just jump in, and most of the time it works. The other guys like it and support me with their play, with drum and bass and the keyboard, just rise me up. So we had a really good team, a good company together. So, but most of the show are planned. I mean, it's written down what will happen, but sometimes interesting things happen. For example, 10 years ago or 11, Steve took out his harmonica and started to play. We didn't know. We enjoyed very much. Sometimes it can happen. So we have a kind of a routine regarding the question. So we have a routine, discussed or not discussed, written or not written. But as our name said, Djabe, everything can happen. We are free.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the beautiful thing. That is, of course, there's some structure behind the thing, but there's room for improvisation and solos during the gig, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Looking back in your career, I mean, at what point you felt that although you guys started very, very small town, and little by little start increasing and playing in Europe, playing your country, playing Europe, playing here in the United States. At what point do you feel that your work began to gain worldwide significance in not just in the progressive work, but in the kind of jazz and fusion world?
So we had important milestones in our career. The first album was a revelation. And the second album was nominated and got it the the best Hungarian world music album of the year. So we were more world music than jazz. 2001, we got the most prestigious award in Hungary. It was eMeRTon Award. This was the professional award in music in Hungary.
Yep.
And after this album, during the tour in Hungary, a guy came to me and said, I'm from Croatia and I'm running a jazz festival. We have the festival in 3 weeks. I like your band, and of course the festival is already done, but if you can come, I make another day for you.
Wow.
And we also got an invitation for Bratislava Jazz Days from Slovakia. And I realized that our bands became in quality international.
Yeah.
And I started a system to communicate with festivals in Europe and United States, everywhere. And 2004, we arrived to the Kaunas Jazz Festival in Lithuania. And we were headliner like Earth, Wind and Fire, Experience, and Randy Becker. Big names. 3 headliners, Earth, Wind and Fire, Randy Becker, and Djabe. I think that was the time I felt we are a very good start, very good position internationally. A country really far from us, Lithuania. And we were nominated in LA for Hungarian Music Award 2004 with the Sheafs dancing album as well. And was also a big influence, big things for us, a big result when we released the first album at Cherry Red Records. Because before that, we released our albums on my own label.
Perfect, yeah.
And we had some tracks released by Sony as compilation albums from Hungary. But the first real international release was the Summer Storms and Rocking Rivers album via Cherry Red. And many albums followed, like Life is a Journey, Sardinia tapes, Back to Sardinia, Budapest live tapes, The Magic Stag on the name Djabe, not Djabe and Steve Hackett, and Life is a Journey, and now the Live in Year. So I think it's really unique from Hungary to release 6-7 albums in England and distribute them worldwide. I think it's a very, very good result. So I think that's the answer to your questions. For international success, this as a touring act in beginning of the 2000 years and 2016 the first release with Cherry Red.
Yeah, it's amazing. Also, I noticed that the quality of the vinyl and the DVD 5.1 is extremely high sound quality, right? So you guys put a lot of, some bands do not put attention that much about the quality of the output, and they're producing so many that they don't have the time to create great output. But in your case, the sound and the quality and the way that the records are engineered and mastered, and they're excellent sound quality. So I'm very, I'm very happy for that,
Yeah, I'm too. So this was my concept and Tamás concept to produce the best we can.
That's right. Yeah.
I built a recording studio on my own. So we have an own recording studio. So we had time to work out, working on the albums. We were not limited by the studio time.
Oh, got it.
And I think over the years, I became an experienced producer, and also Tamás became producer and engineer, very high quality. And I had some examples during my life when I was younger. I was a big fan of, and I'm still big fan of Frank Zappa. And he recorded all the shows and used his vault for future releases. I'm doing quite the same. We record everything. Yeah. And I try to keep the production in-house like Zappa did. And if I compare with some other bands all over the world, we are a little bit like, but not as strong as King Crimson. But we are so enthusiastic. We have a similar enthusiasm to release everything in high quality, surround on vinyl, the best vinyl quality we can get. And what I couldn't reach in my studio, I went to the best places. In 1998, when we produced the Witchi title album, I flew to eMeRTon Studios, preparing the interactive part. It was the 15th interactive disc all over the world. I've seen Tony Levin and King Crimson this form, the enhanced CD. Yeah. And a few years back, I went to my show, Abbey Road again, making half-speed cuts from this album and some other albums. Back to Sardinia, also cut half-speed at the Abbey Road Studios.
Abbey Road, yeah.
Mark Powell was there from Esoteric. We met there that day. Yeah. At Abbey Road, from Cherry Red.
That's right. Yeah, it's amazing. Well, I think we will, stop here, Attila, and then we'll do part 3, as it were, during the week, and to make sure that the viewer and the listener of the interview can, get more information about the band, buy the record, a big push with the Cherry record, and then we'll do part 3 during the week. And that was very nice talking to you. Hopefully one day I will be able to see you, playing live with the band. Of course, I have several CDs and several vinyl, but I can never see you playing live. So hopefully, maybe one day I will see you in Budapest or in another concert.
I hope so too. This year
I need to convince my wife to go there to maybe during the summer or June or whenever you're playing. Go to Budapest for a week and see you guys playing live.
Yeah, we have guests from the United States this year. They are coming to see us in Budapest. A few guys, and we will have from England, Switzerland, Germany. Yeah. So we are a little bit limited to tour with Steve in Western Europe. It's a little bit. He doesn't want to make Djabe and Steve has shows in the same country where he is strong. I can see why. So it's okay, but as Djabe, we travel everywhere. So I hope we can do something next year in
United States.
We see.
Yeah. All right. Well, hope so. It was very nice talking to you, Attila, and I will send you the link to all these 2 interviews tomorrow. And keep on working hard, keep on producing great music, and I will see you personally and meet you one day and in the near future. So it was very nice talking to you.
Yeah, if you can come to Budapest, just let me know. I
will let you know. Yeah,
I make your visit more easier and comfortable as I can.
That's right. Yeah, you need to save a couple of tickets so I can go and see it. Because it's sold out now, right? Yeah.
Pardon?
Is the show sold out already? Yeah.
50 but it's sold out. But I have a few tickets for this kind of a guest like you.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah.
So
we can take
Steve to huh? Yes, it's sold out for the public, but not for the band.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it. It was very nice talking to you. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Attila. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, Attila.